Hi there, and thank you for watching. In this video, I'm continuing to learn how to become a better fabricator, and this time focusing more on bending and welding round tube. Now I always hate to waste material, so I needed a simple project to practice with. This year I had purchased a zero-turn mower, but as the days started to grow short in the fall, the lack of lights presented an upcoming issue. This provided a great excuse to fabricate a front bumper to mount some lights to. A good goal on a project like this is to make it look like it could have come that way from the factory, so take some time to make a plan. I don't have a lot of experience with my tube bender yet, so I made it a few bends to check how accurately I could bend an angle using the scale on the machine. Things were looking good so far. So this was right about the time a stray kitten showed up to hang around my shop. And if you're wondering, yes, my wife adopted her. Okay, I'll do a much more detailed video about this later, but the math to plan out the bend lengths is actually pretty easy. For someone with less experience, it's much easier to clearly mark out where the start and end of each bend is on the tube. Here's an original tip. Use a hose clamp to help carry your mark all the way around the tube. My larger bandsaw was waiting on a new blade. I actually like the way this Portaband cuts though, but the vise setup is terrible. Maybe a future fab project? You've heard this before. The metal will want to spring back, so measuring the angle under pressure will only lead to disappointment. If you have a manual bender like this one, the trick is to slowly release pressure from the bend until there is no force on the tube. The point it naturally springs back to will be your measurable point. These bends are all in the same plane, so I used a digital angle finder to set the first bend level to the machine. Originally, I planned on tucking the bumper under the front, but then I saw an opportunity to make a handy front access step. On a project like this, I dislike using A36 steel, but in this case, square tube provided a great way to adapt to some existing bolts under the mower. Drill through the tube a hole sized for the bolt. I don't like having a bolt clamping the entire tube, it just doesn't look good. So now I drill out one of the holes large enough for the head of the bolt and a socket to access. I'm going to use a hole saw to notch the square tube to solidly adapt to the round tube. Drill press worked okay for the first hole, but for some reason it was at this point I remembered I owned an actual tube notcher. There was a ton of cutting oil all over this part, and that is bad news for welding. So in for a night soaking in the parts washer. Small sidetrack. I got in my new blade for my larger bandsaw, and I discovered why the old blade had been giving me so much trouble. This is a high quality blade made of hardened steel. When folded in half, it will snap in half, making it easy to dispose of. And this is the blade I just pulled off that had been giving me a lot of trouble. Spot the difference? Always clean and bevel edges for a good quality weld. I needed a weld nut to mount the lights. By using an old spacer, I was able to press a flange nut into a large washer. This would allow me to weld it at the end of a tube. I primed the metal when finished and applied a good coat of Trek bed liner to keep the bumper protected. I was happy with the bumper, and now just needed to mount the lights. I'll have a video out soon on how I wired them in to look as if they came that way from the factory. Until then, I hope this video helped motivate you for your own projects. Thank you for watching.